Today we're going to talk about conclusions. So, yesterday you worked on your introduction and you made sure that it had a hook, right? A really great idea to kind of bring your reader in. Well, conclusion is similar in a little different way. Actually, instead of the first sentence being your hook, your last sentence holds a lot more importance in a conclusion. So, in a conclusion, you want to briefly mention at least one little bit, maybe at the topic basically of each of your body paragraphs. Okay. So you had three body paragraphs about weather, and you should at least mention the three topic sentences. You can either repeat them or say them in a slightly different way in the conclusion. And that is reminding your reader about all they learned in your essay. And then the last thing you want to do, and I think the most important part about a conclusion, is the last sentence. So I'm going to click here. I included a resource here that I thought was good. So one of the things that I wanted to point to is that last sentence. So here's the suggestions on how to make that ending more powerful. So the one thing that you want to do is to have a brief summary of the paper's main points. We talked about that. But you can end in several different ways. One, you can ask a provocative question. Provocative means you're provoking thoughts. You're making your reader think about something, okay? So maybe if you're writing an essay about weather, you might want to encourage the reader to pay more attention to weather alerts. Okay, so you could come up with a question regarding that. Use a quotation. So if you have a very powerful quotation that maybe you haven't used before, that you think the reader will really go, "Oh wow," something that's going to give them a lasting thought about, you can include that. Evoke vivid language. I think that's kind of coming back to that narrative idea. And if you started with a narrative, it is kind of fun sometimes to end with that narrative, right? Particularly if you're sending a message that you want the reader to do. You want them maybe to pay more attention to weather alerts. So maybe your narrative kind of comes down to that the tragedy was avoided because they listened to the warnings and they did what they were supposed to do. Another thing is a call for some sort of action. Okay, so I don't want to give you too many answers for the weather report. So let's say you were writing about pet adoption from shelters, for example. So a call for action might be telling people to adopt from a shelter. It might include asking for donations, maybe go out and buy a bag of dog food, even if you don't own a dog. Some kind of something to tell the reader to do that makes them want to help whatever cause you have written about. And any suggested results or consequences. And what that means is if you think that the consequence to not acting would be really big, you can mention something like that. So really something, so you want to end with your conclusion, something for your reader to think about so that they're still thinking about your essay even when they're done reading. Good luck.